Welcome to Baby Boy Mulligan's Guitars, Mods, and Music. Today, we're going to be working on the Jake E. Lee style guitar, and this is part 2. So please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let's get it over to the bench and work on it. Okay, so I've got this guy wired up, not soldered yet, but we're going to check everything. So this is the full humbucker and the split. So that's going to be the active on the split. Position 2. So we got everything. Now we'll split the coils. So that's going to be the active one. Now we'll go middle and split it again. And we'll go to the 4th position. And we might as well just, since that's the split, just do split. And full. And just the neck. Okay, so all that's working as far as that goes. And our kill switch. All right, everything works. So now we will solder it up. I probably want to turn this off first. So I tinned the wire, so I'm just going to heat that up a little bit, get it all over. A little extra on there. Okay, that's good. And we'll do this one. Come on. There we go. And then we got to get this guy better. Come on. There we go. Make sure they're good. And I don't like this one. I want to do it a little bit better. I think I'm going to try doing this. Wrap this right around here. Because it's aggravating me. Come on. There we go. Get that together like that. Snip that guy right there. This is what you do when the solder doesn't want to cooperate. You make it cooperate. think it's time for a new soldering gun. This one you can tell has seen better days. Okay, there we go. Now we're tinned in there good. Now we're in there good. All right. Now we will check it again. And where did I just put that? Oh, yeah. All right, everything's working. Now let's just double check this. Those aren't working. Those aren't working. Just some noise, loud noise like that. And our kill switch. Nothing. So that's all working. Now we can start putting the guitar together. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I'm having a problem with my video. I lost a bunch of footage. So basically, I'm going to explain what I did. And I'll show you again in the video when I do the next build. That orange to red burst guitar. Which has the same pick guard on it, just in the pearl white. So I raised the pickup. I lowered this pickup. I took all the wires. I wrapped them with the heat wrap that I use. I zip tied all the wires. I put the wires for the jack, I pulled them through, and then I zip tied those and made a nice little pocket in the cavity for those. So we had a nice clean wiring scheme to put into the guitar's pickup cavity. So that being all said, I was down to tightening the last screw here. And I was showing you I don't know where I put it now because I got frustrated when my camera went off. I was showing you how to do the ball end frets, semi ball end frets. So you just do these edges like this, and then what you want to do is you want to get up underneath these, and I always use my hand here to protect this pick guard, even though I have the plastic still on here. And I just want to do that edge, kind of get it on an angle, and that'll take that edge right off. You can probably see me from this way. I'll do it this way first, and then I'll just get right up underneath that edge. I'll show you from this angle. Do it this way, and then I get right up underneath that edge. And that'll make this so it's almost a bowl end fret. Big difference from these other frets. Now what you want to do is I've got this as a half round, flat, and then the edges are grinded down so that you don't make any marks in the fretboard. Now, if you're a novice, you'll want to tape these up before you do this. Because if you'll notice, there's no marks on my fretboard. So, sorry about that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue that all the way down the fretboard. That's something you need to watch. I've showed you how to do it. Now, when you get up here, it does get easier. Then it's just a simple. And you just get up underneath it on that angle. Bam, you got a rounded edge. So I'll do that. I'll come back and I'll show you how I polish my frets. Be right back. So guys, I'm having a lot of problems with my internet today, and apparently that's what's shutting down my program for my videos in my computer. So I did the entire fret job, which was just a fret polish. So I'm just going to go over it with you. For those who haven't seen it before, I put on my fret guard protector, and then I use 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000, and 3000 grit sandpapers, and I polish these frets like this. You want to do about 4 or 5 swipes on every one, all the way down. Switch to your next sandpaper, starting at the 400 going up to the 3000. Then we'll remove this and we'll condition and clean the fretboard. So I keep losing my footage today. So in the next video, I'm going to go over everything again because I'm building 2 similar guitars, just different colors. But look how shiny those frets are. So now the next thing to do will be to put the strings on, and then we will cut the nut because I know the nut's going to need to be cut. I've got these new, really cool, depending on what size strings. I've got the 42 to 9s, and I've got the 46 to 10 nut slot cutters. I got these for 25 bucks each. So for $50 instead of $100 from Music Nomad, I got 2 sets, whatever set of strings I want to put on the guitar. So we're going to use these. This one's going to get 9s. Because I've got quite a few with 10s, so I want to go a little slinkier on these. So these are the nut files that we're going to use. Let me get the strings on, and we'll come back and I'll show you that process. Okay, so I put the strings on, and I found that I had some buzz. So somewhere along the lines of my putting a shim in the neck, I had some frets that were uneven. So I gave it, I hit the like 5 frets that were messed up, that were high. And so now I'm going to have to do the fret work all over again. So I don't know what happened in maybe the tweaking of the neck. The frets maybe popped up a little. Anyway, so we're going to have to recrown all these frets. So I'm just going to go lightly on the ones I didn't do here, which is, there's the only one. You'll notice I'm rocking this to go with the radius of the neck. For the rest of the neck, I didn't do too rough except for these couple of frets that really needed it. So they don't need a huge crowning like some of these do. Like this one right here. Also, something else I did is I rolled the edges of the fretboard. Now, the easy way to do that is you take your screwdriver, you just roll the edges in here till it's rounded instead of sticking up, squared off, L-shaped. And then when you get down here into these lower ones, I just get right just above where that is. And I just get in there. These don't need to be done as much as the rest of the neck. Right here does. And these are more accessible on this side. But they're all rolled pretty good. So I just wanted to show you that. And I did file all the edges, which I had done before. Which I mentioned that earlier in the video. I would do off camera after showing you how I do it. Now, the reason I'm not going crazy on these, I'm only doing them about 10 times each one. Now, when I got down to the 12th fret here, this is where I had a really high one. This one and the 21st fret. So I have having buzzing. What is that noise? Now, when I get down here because of the horn being higher over here, I switch it around. Now here I'll switch it around again. Then I'll flip the guitar over once you get down into here. So I'll kind of hit this side from the dots like that. And then I'll come back and flip it around and do the other side. So from here down, that's how I want to do it. And this is that bad one, so I'm going to do this one a little bit extra. Now, the way I do my fret polish, I polish it with the sandpaper, and I do it like this. So you can see I use the finger on each side of the fret. That also helps to recrown all the frets. Okay, so I will be right back. I'm going to put the fret protector on there, the fretboard protector, and we'll go ahead and I'll show you how I do the polish. Well, I'm not going to keep you here for the whole thing. I'm going to do a couple, and then we'll go from there. Then I'll come back. So you will see up here I've got my new box with all of my sandpapers in it and my new fret files that I got on Amazon. I got this at the dollar store, and I cut it out so that these fit in there. A couple little extra screws and nuts in there. Then I got my 3000, my 2000, my 1500, 1200, 1000, 800, 600, and 400. So I move this way so you know what I'm doing. I actually got that tip helping out down at T's, something Torsten has. He's got a big box of an old GHS Boomer box for strings, and he's got all the sandpaper like that laid out. And Ted actually mentioned that in one of his videos, Ted Talks Guitars and Life. And I was like, oh yeah, I got to do that. I totally forgot to do that. So went to the dollar store and picked that box up, and there we go. Little ingenuity, and I got everything for strings there. And my F1 oil over here. All right, so let's get started. So I always start with 400. Again, I hit both sides. Then 600. $800. 1,000. 1,200. 1,500. 2,000. And 3,000. And that's it. You do that down the whole fretboard. But what I do is I'll take 600, hit everything, then the 4, then the 8, then the 1,000, and so on till I finish. And look how shiny that fret is. So this video got a little long, so I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to do another video, and then we're going to do the demo. So thanks for watching. Baby Boy Mulligan's Guitars, Mods, and Music. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.